Welcome back to BVarsity Live. A little bit of a change up here on championship week. We've got Bakersfield Christian in the house now. Ridgeview's coming next. So we skipped D2. We'll go back to that. We're in Division 3 now. Bakersfield Christian, Eagles, Tabor, Nylander, right?
Yes.
I was scared of that one. Steven Figures and Darren Carr, the head coach for BCHS, rocking the Raiders gear.
He's going to get you in a fireman's if you mess it up. Remember that.
As I was telling him, I'm jealous of his Twitter following. Raider Nation has showed up for you, Darren.
Man, they love us, man.
Yeah.
They sure do.
It's awesome. Yeah. But also awesome is your guys' season so far. You've won 11 games in a row after the season opening loss and really just rolling as the number 1 seed into the D3 final. Tabor, let's start with you. What's this season been like? How have you guys grown as things have gone on?
Well, I think that loss to Garza is actually a big thing for us because we kind of came in a little hot-headed, and it cooled us out a lot.
Like, get right up on the mic when you talk. Go ahead. Sorry.
And it cooled us out a lot. You know, it made us refocus on everything, and I think that's also why we're so good this season, just because of that loss, because it matured us a lot, and we've matured since then a lot more. Because I was watching the Garces film just yesterday, and it seemed like a completely different season, and that I was just a completely different player. So I think we progressed a lot just throughout the season.
Steven, you feel the same way, that maybe you guys came in, I don't want to say overconfident, but you came in thinking you were a very good team, and maybe it took you that game to figure out where you need to get there.
Yeah, honestly, if we wouldn't win that game, I'd feel like we wouldn't be 11-1 right now, because we probably would have came in with a big head and just be like, we could beat anyone since we beat Garces, and probably would have been different predicament.
One of those things, Coach, as a coach, sometimes a loss early in the year can be good for you.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, we talked about it yesterday, man. I think I shocked everybody before practice. I said, you know what, I'm glad we lost to Garces. And they were like, oh, my gosh, Coach, no. I'm like, well, you know what? I mean, you never know, man. I mean, we're big on God's got a plan for everyone, man, and that's one thing we preach. And, I mean, I'm glad that happened, man, because we're on a roll now. So. And
now Tulare Western comes in. A little bit of a different look than the playoff teams you've seen so far. They're more of a grinded-out team, very good defense. We were talking about during the break. Where do they challenge you? Let's start with their defense first.
Yeah, can we take it?
You guys want to?
You go. Oh, right. Go first.
I mean, their D-line's pretty good, so that's a challenge, just being the center and coordinating the old linemen, just blocking the right guys. They got some good linebackers. They got that good D in Cameron Haynes, like we said, and I think it's going to be a challenge for us up front. But I think that challenge is always good. We get to see what we're made of, and I think it'll be fun.
Steven, how about you? What do you see on film from that?
Their linebackers and their DBs, they're really disciplined. They got one guy, sophomore, that moved up, and he plays offense and defense, and they just get after it.
Yeah, they do play hard. They held Tehachapi to 7 points in the quarters. They held Hanford, the defending champion, I think, to 16 points last week. So they can get after it. Of course, you guys have some weapons on offense yourself. Last time we had you in, Darren, it was Braden and Jeremiah, your kind of go-to combination. But Steven, you're part of that passing game as well. What's it like? You know, we had Garces, ironically, in here a couple weeks ago, and I think it was Scott Boylan who said there are certain plays that get called, and I know in the huddle it's a touchdown as long as we execute it. Do you guys feel that way sometimes with the way your passing game operates, Steven, that play has a real good chance of working as long as we execute?
Yeah, well, when we run it in practice and it works every single time, and then when we go in the field, you're like, okay, it's wide open. We got this.
Is that kind of the seam route that you went for 80 against Memorial on Friday?
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, okay, I'm going to get past this guy. I know it. And then I end up getting the ball and scoring.
Let's go back to that game a little bit. And I don't do this very often, but I keep my stat sheet. And I actually have last Friday's up on my board because I've never seen a 484-yard performance in person before, and it's an incredible thing. And it's not just Braden. Braden is a great quarterback, but it's predicated on the line with Tabor leading the way and Steven and Jeremiah and even Brock Holloway and what he does. I mean, you know, people say, oh, you guys can't run the ball, Darren, but, you know, when you don't run the ball, a lot of the times, too, Brock's sticking in and he's blocking, and you guys have a 6th or 7th lineman with your tight end and Brock in there.
Right. I mean, anybody saying we can't run the football is pretty insane, but I would refer to them to average per carry. I mean, it might be close to 10 yards a carry. You know, and we do what we need to do. You know, we get on film. Dave puts together a great offensive plan, man. There's nobody better in town. And he attacks weaknesses, man. And, you know, we want to get what we want to get, but we're also not stupid enough to run the ball with 7 guys blitzing, you know. Right. So we'll take what we can take.
Main reason that I asked Coach to bring the two of you on, because you guys were both on the team that went to the state title game when you guys were freshmen. Tabor, you saw and played with Brandon Jones and lined up in front of him. What do you see between what Brandon did for you guys the previous years and what Braden's done for you guys, and kind of the level of competition where you guys are now compared to where you guys were in 2013 when you guys were freshmen?
Just on the quarterbacks, they're both competitors. And I think that as far as the team itself and both teams compared, I think we have about the same talent level and about the same size and about the same, I don't know, just the mental edge, I guess. I think that's what, in 2013, I was the only freshman that actually made the team. Steve got pulled up for playoffs, but he still got some snaps. And just that year, everybody, we all played with just anger, but we all communicated. And I think this year we've also found the same anger, and then the same communication. We communicate well, and when we do communicate on defense, we shut teams out for the most part. So I think just comparatively, the teams are pretty much the same. I know we run different coaches and different schemes and stuff, but I think that at the end of the day, we both get the same results.
Did you hear that? He threw a little bit of shade on you. He was the only freshman who made the team. You got caught. No, I'm just kidding.
That's all good.
Seriously, though, I do think before your guys' sophomore year, when the Cars came in to coach, I remember talking to a lot of people out there.
Year.
Was it junior year?
Yeah,
junior. I'm sorry, junior year. A lot of people said, "Oh, it's going to be exciting to be coached by, David Carr has been a professional. Darren, you've been around professionals your whole life, and Roger obviously has the pedigree of coaching quarterbacks and offense and everything." How's it turned out 2 years later? I mean, is it everything you thought it would be, Steven, and different than you thought it would be in any way?
Well, junior year, we came in like, okay, we got new coaches. We got one of the best coaching staff in Bakersfield, in my opinion. And we started off really good. We were flowing. Well, we went 0-3, but after that we start winning games. Start to pick up, and then that Highland game, it just got to us. Like they give us everything we need, like to go into these games, but it was up to us to finish and play and do what they taught us. But we didn't do that. But this year, everyone still reminisces of that game, and they come and give us what we need to do, and we start doing that now since we listen to them a lot more, I think, in my opinion. Like, at first we were a little cocky or whatever. Like, we've been here, like me, Tabor, we've been here, and they just got here or whatever. So it's like our team. But the more this year, more goes on, we start to listen to them, and we start winning games now.
Is that the crazy part about it, Darren? Is that you got two guys that kind of were like, well, this is our team. What are you guys going to do for us? But now they're the two guys that you lean on the most.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, just going back to what Stevie said, man, I think it was a trust thing. I got there at the end of April, and I'm this new guy trying to come in, and we're going to do this, 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 and this, and these guys have been used to something else for 2 years. You know what I mean? I think it's just a trust thing. It's just building the trust and building the love and letting them know on the whiteboard that we're going to put you in the best case scenario, best spot possible to be successful, and these are the things you got to do, and if you don't do them, we're gonna have episodes like Highland, man. I think that showed for them.
Zach, I think that's the craziest thing, and I hear more of it now in Bakersfield than I think I ever have before, and you get it from the very successful coaches. Dennis Manning will do the same thing. Paul Goll, I've heard him do the same thing, where they talk about love, and Darren talks about love, and they get away from this machismo thing, and you guys really get down to the heart of it, and that is you guys are a family, and you're never going to do anything without a love.
Sure.
How much of that, where did you learn that from, and how easy or how hard has it been to do that for, high school boys that maybe don't want to, say that?
Right. No, that's the number one thing, man. We always talk about never be afraid to say that you love somebody. Never be afraid to call someone on a bad day and just kind of encourage them. And that just, for me, in our family, that comes from Christ, man. He's the ultimate one you look to when showing love. And he wasn't a soft guy. He wasn't a guy that just kind of rolled over and took things. He was a man that spoke truth and loved people, and they knew it. And not everyone's gonna take to it. That's fine. We're gonna be the same thing day in, day out. And I think that also comes from my father and my grandfather. Coach Pop. And you won't find a more loving man, a more encouraging man. And that's what kind of me and my brothers had growing up. And from my mom, just the whole family, man. We kind of showcase that to these kids.
That's awesome. Before we let you guys go, I do want to talk. You were both freshmen on that Valley Championship team. Yeah. So one thing I think that happens when you're freshmen, you make it that far is, we're going to do this every year. It's easy, It's not easy. It's been shown the last couple of years that it's not easy. What's it feel like to be back playing for another Valley as a senior?
Oh, it feels great. I just got to give all the glory to God because He put us here. And I think it was last Thursday, so last week, Matt Smith came and he was the running back. Yeah. It was his junior year when we went to Valley. Yeah.
He's big.
Yeah.
thick.
And we were talking because when we played Mission Oak, we were down 21-0 within like 6 minutes of the first quarter. And we just started chanting, "God's got us." And I feel like it's the same thing this year, that God's got our back and that God's going to lead the way. And if we play our football, then God's gonna just give it to us. And God's going to, it's God's will, of course. I think if we play the best of our ability, then we can't complain.
Steven, how about you? What's it feel like to be back?
Oh, it feels great. Like freshman year, I was only on kickoff and I got a couple of snaps at running back. But to be on a team and actually be a part of winning this game or playing in this game, it's great.
And Coach, for you, you've been there as an assistant. I know you
Yeah.
wearing shorts tomorrow night, by the way.
Oh man, I'll be in shorts.
Of course,
Yes,
yeah.
man.
I knew, well, the beard
Paul
keeps you
Gold
warm. So,
taught me
yeah.
a lot, and one of them is not to be soft.
That's what I know.
So.
Matt Alvarez, who's our color analyst on Friday nights, is always cold. He's always got like 7 layers on. I'm like, dude, it's 62 degrees outside. It's not cold.
Yeah.
And I said, look at the BHS coaches last week. They're all wearing shorts. And I know
Yeah,
Darren
and
Carr
he's a
is too.
cop that works the midnight shift.
Yeah. He's got the heat on in the ambulance, or the cop car. Anyway, for you to be here as a head coach, to bring your team, it's yours more than anybody else's to this stage. What does that mean to you?
It means the world, man. I've coached in 3 of these now, 4. This is my 4th. First one I lost. It was the worst feeling I ever had in my life. Thought we're here, man. We're gonna win this thing. I keep telling these guys all the time, man. That's not the case. You still got to play a football game, man. And as a head coach, man, it's fun to see these guys be successful. It's fun to know that my dad and Dave and Coach Miller, we have so many guys that have never won one, and never had that opportunity, never had all that confetti and everything fall on them, man. And that's really what kind of drives me this year, just staying up late and getting up early and doing these types of things. And it's an amazing feeling, man. I hope we can accomplish that tomorrow.
Derek's got a game in Oakland on Sunday. How's he going to follow along? How does he follow the BCHS games?
He follows us. Yeah, he lets us know. Yeah, we let him know and all this stuff. And he's going to send a video to me. We're going to play it for the kids tomorrow and go from there. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, this is the Bakersfield Christian Eagles. They play Tulare Western tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Only lights on in town tomorrow night.
For the D3 title game. And if you want a game in Bakersfield, you got to go out to BCHS.
See us.
Yeah, definitely. Good luck, guys, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Good luck, fellas.
We'll be back with the Ridgeview Wolfpack right after this.
For more than